Good morning and good afternoon, depending on when you're seeing this. My name is Jan Madsen. I'm a resident here in the village near the North Golf Course, and I'm running for Cherokee Village SID Commissioner. I've lived here in the village since 2009 and in Arkansas since 2004. I'm originally from the plains of Nebraska, where I grew up, graduated high school, took some college. While working full-time, I married and had a family. I had a 28-year career as a technician and rose to service management and responsible for 120 employees over a 5-state area, responsible for payroll, budgets, for things like vehicles and tools. That ended around the events of 9/11 when they started to cut payroll, and so rather than have other people cut, I retired because I was eligible and allowed other people to stay on. From there, I started a small consignment business, just kind of a small neighborhood business, and ran that for about 2 years. But my husband had other ideas. He decided he wanted to travel, so we decided to sell the farm and hit the road in the motorhome, thinking things would right themselves in a couple of years and we would settle down again. We enjoyed our time on the road, but we're ready to settle down after a couple of years. We made some friends in Gulf Shores, Alabama, who invited us to Arkansas, and we liked it so much that we decided to stay and look for a home. The terrain here was took a little getting used to, but we loved the lakes and the fishing. Once we found ourselves in Arkansas, I got back to work, first a library job helping with new cataloging computer systems that introduced me to the Senior Community Service Employment Program. This was helping people over the age of 55 who are low income, lacked current skills, and wanted to get back into the workforce. I was given the responsibility of working the program in 5 counties in northeast Arkansas, where I was fortunate to have worked with government officials, 501c3s, and seniors who wanted to re-enter the workforce and make that transition. Unfortunately, funding requirements made cuts, and by 2011, I was looking for work again. That's when I walked into the FNBC Bank in Cherokee Village and asked if they were hiring, and within a couple of weeks, I guess it was, I was hired as a teller, and I stayed there until January of 2017. It seemed that right away, upon leaving there, my family needed me. My mom and my son were having health issues. I spent most of the next 3 years on the road back and forth to Nebraska. I buried my mom in 2019 and my son in 2020. Upon returning home, my husband's health had gotten a little worse. We were still able to do some traveling, mostly to Texas, the Gulf Coast with family and friends, then trips to Little Rock, VA, where we made many friends as we waded through the medical system, as well as the campgrounds there. But my husband passed in 22. For a while, I didn't do much of anything. I connected with neighbors, friends who became family, and started going back to church. I started attending SID meetings and city council meetings, asking questions, showing concerns, and when I was encouraged by friends in the community to run for one of the commissions, whether it was, Roads and Bridges, one of the commissions anyway. Well, somebody said something about CVSID needing somebody, so that's kind of where I ended up there. I prayed about it, and kind of here I am. So let's get to the questions that the current commissioners asked each one of us, and see if you can guess who asked which question. Question 1, how would you describe your role as commissioner? To work as a team with fellow commissioners, administrators, and the public to oversee and provide input on budget and policy, whether it be local or state, and commit to projects that contribute to the betterment of the community. Question 2, what would I do to preserve the ecological balance of our lakes as well as our fisheries? I would work to prevent polluting of the lakes and educating those who use the lakes, those who live on the lakes as well. We're all responsible to keep the lakes clean. As for the fisheries, I was stumped a bit. I was not quite sure what the SID would have to do with the fisheries. Then, realizing the broadness of the question, I decided I needed to learn more about maintaining the quality of the fishing and how our management of the lakes is important to the health of the fish and the fishing activities. Question 3, will you support current management and administration? The short answer is yes, current and future. Question 4, how will you prioritize spending? First, get to know and understand where we stand revenue-wise. Have a clear, achievable, realistic plan or plans that improve or add to amenities, and to work with the community to achieve those plans. And question 5, what is your goal as a commissioner? My goals as a commissioner are to work towards a greater sense of community. If we don't have quality amenities that we are proud of as a community, we won't grow our community. Someone said to me, it's about population, and it is. We have a retirement community mindset, but if we don't entice our youth to stay, or 30 to 40 somethings with children who want to grow up here or who grew up here and want to come back and visit or vacation here, our community will just surely die. I don't want that, and I doubt you do either. Let's work together and make it happen. Thank you, and I hope I've earned your vote.